Namaskar. Welcome to our channel Bio by Gulab Sir for Wisdom Coaching Center. As a part of series of lectures, today's topic is circulatory system, human circulatory system as a major part of today's lecture. But at the same time, as some supplementary knowledge regarding different group of animals that they have different mechanism. As we know that there are two major types of circulatory system, open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Almost all invertebrates, they have open circulatory system except annelids, and that you learn in 11th class while studying animal kingdom. Closed circulatory system is present in all vertebrates. In open circulatory system, blood come out from the loops or hearts and get into the lymph cavity, hemolymph cavity, that is hemocoel, and all tissue get lodged into that hemolymph, and thereby excess of gases occur from that hemolymph to blood to tissue, and carbon dioxide from tissue to blood and blood to hemocoel. But in closed circulatory system, that blood do not come out from the blood vessels, only content get exchanged in between blood and tissue, and that is what our system is, closed circulatory system. In fishes, amphibians, reptiles and birds, all they have closed circulatory system. Fishes being two-chamber heart, that they pump deoxygenated blood, and therefore that heart is known as venous heart. Please remember that word, venous heart, in fish. In amphibians, they have three-chamber heart, they pump mixed blood, and reptiles have 3.5 chamber heart. So amphibians and reptiles together, except crocodile, that they have 4 chamber. Amphibians has 3 chamber and reptiles has 4 chamber, but that ventricles is incompletely separated. So it can be said that they have double circulation with incomplete double circulation, because blood get mixed, therefore it can be called as incomplete double circulation. But crocodile, birds and human being or mammals, that they have double circulatory system with complete circulation. There is no mixing of blood. So human heart, come to the point that human heart as under the heading circulatory system. Human heart is myogenic. There are two types of heart. Please remember these two words, neurogenic and myogenic. Although these two words are not given in book, but it's very important to know about that neurogenic, most of the invertebrate, their heartbeat, matlab palpitation and contraction and relaxation of heartbeat is originated in their nervous system. But in human being or most of the vertebrate, they have myogenic heart. That means that heartbeat get originated into the nodal tissue present inside the heart. Sinoauricular node, AV node is called as cardiac nodal tissue. So heartbeat or wave of contraction and relaxation is originated into heart itself. That is called auto-excitation. And hence human heart is myogenic heart. This is a point to note for the NEET, that human heart is myogenic. We have 4 chambers, that we have 4 chamber, 2 auricle and 2 ventricle. Here auricles are separated by interauricular septum and ventricles are separated by interventricular septum. Externally, heart is covered by thin serous epithelium called pericardium. This external covering is called pericardium. Our heart is placed in between cavity, in between 2 lungs or cavity, that is called mediastinum. Remember the word mediastinum. It is placed in the cavity between 2 lungs called mediastinum. mediastinum. This word is also a point of NEET, can be asked a cavity in which this heart is placed, mediastinum. Once again come to the point that heart is covered by a special serous epithelium called pericardium, and the gap between these two is filled by pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid. This is right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. As right auricles and left auricle separated by septum called interauricular septum, and right ventricle, left ventricle called separated by septum called interventricular septum. These auricles open into ventricle by bicuspid and tricuspid hall. Bicuspid hall is present between left auricle and left ventricle. Tricuspid hall is present between right auricle and right ventricle, are also called as auriculoventricular septum, that they separate auricle and ventricle. Now, this auricle and ventricles, that right auricle receives impure blood from lower and upper part of the body. Lower and upper part of the body. This is called inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava, that bring blood from lower part of the body, impure blood, and this is superior vena cava. This is superior vena cava. These are the large blood vessels that they bring deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body into right auricle. This left auricle receives two from this side and two from this side. They are pulmonary veins. These pulmonary vein, that they bring oxygenated blood from lungs into left auricle. These are the blood vessels. Now, when that deoxygenated blood which come into the right auricle with the contraction is poured into the right ventricle. Right ventricle carry this impure blood through this pulmonary artery to all parts of the body. So let me draw first incomplete and then I will complete it. Now see, here there is a aorta. This aorta carry pure blood. Aorta carry pure blood from left ventricle to all parts of the body. So to draw, see how simple it is to draw. It turn around and come here downside. So here this is aorta that carry this blood. Now where it get overlap, and that non-overlapping part is supposed to be degenerated. Therefore, let me degenerate it extra part here. So here, this is that pulmonary artery get from downside of the aorta, So aorta overlap the pulmonary artery that carry impure blood to one lung, and here this pulmonary artery overlap the aorta. Therefore, to show it, that we have to cut this part and show the way it has to be. So here pulmonary artery overlap the aorta, and like this. I hope you got this one, how I have drawn. So this is to understand. So here this pulmonary artery and aorta that they overlap. Initially, this interauricular septum consists of a hole till that child get born. That is called foramen of ovale. So remember the another word, that foramen of ovale. Foramen of ovale. That is the hole between these two auricles before the birth, as that mother provide nutrition and oxygen, which is being transferred through that vein to the right auricle first, and then it get mixed and then pumped to all cells of the body. Therefore, to mixing that blood immediately, there is a gap between two auricle, is called foramen of Ovale. Remember this one. It is not given in book. But at the time when child get birth, this hole between these two auricles get filled or fully develop the partition or get filled. That structure is called fossa ovalis. That structure is called fossa ovalis. Remember these two words. To show in short, here this is a hole or foramen of Ovale, and when it get filled, so to show it, here this hole get filled in between this at the time of birth, called fossa ovalis. So here this 4-chamber heart has this complete structure to receive and pump the blood. Therefore, that is called double circulation. Right auricle and left auricle. When auricles are relaxed, they receive the blood. Right auricle receives impure blood. Left auricle receives pure blood when they are relaxed. By that time, ventricles are in a contract stage. Now, blood pump from right auricle to left auricle. That's auricle to ventricles. Ventricle begin to relax and receive the blood. By that time, auricle contract. Now, when ventricle begin to contract and auricle begin to have second cycle, these two wall get closed. What are these wall? This wall is called tricuspid wall, and this is a bicuspid wall. These two walls get closed and produce first sound called lub. So there are two sounds. First sound is called lub, and second sound is called dub. How dub is produced? Now, when ventricle contract and blood is pumped into pulmonary artery and aorta by right ventricle and left ventricle respectively, these two halls, when ventricle begin to relax, these two halls called semilunar halls. See, semilunar halls I show by this blue color. So these are the semilunar halls. These semilunar halls get closed. Semilunar halls get closed and produce second sound called dub. What is the meaning or aim behind closing this? To prevent the backflow of blood from aorta and artery into respective ventricles. These all get closed and produce second sound called. Thus, that it facilitates the double circulation. What that double circulation? Pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. What is pulmonary circulation? It is the circulation between heart to lungs and lungs to heart. And what is systemic circulation? Systemic circulation is the circulation of blood between heart to body and body to heart. This is being facilitated by this 4-chamber. So simultaneous contraction and relaxation of auricles and ventricles together is called as heartbeat or one circulation. Here, to have that pressure, to supply blood to all parts of the body, this wall of the left ventricle is the thickest, and moreover this wall is connected through this chordae tendineae, fiber like structure called chordae tendineae, with this interventricular auriculoventricular septum, so as to have contraction with jerk. So both the ventricles that they have this chordae tendineae. This chordae tendineae can be shown by this line. So as to pump that blood with jerk from heart to different part of the body, therefore the wall of the ventricle is thicker than that of auricle. That too, wall of the left ventricle is thicker than right ventricle. Remember please, because left ventricle has to pump blood to all sorts of parts of the body. And every time when ventricle contract, they pump 70 ml of blood, called stroke volume. What is stroke volume? That every time they pump blood, stroke volume is 70 ml. Stroke volume is 70 ml. Every time that both the ventricle contract and pump blood, that volume of blood is called stroke volume, is 70 ml. And what is cardiac output? That cardiac output is nothing but that's stroke volume into number of heartbeat. So 70 into 72, that come to 5040 ml. So 5040 ml is the cardiac output. Now see, this heart is like a wrist. It is around 10 to 12 centimeter. 12 to centimeter length of the heart. And weight of the heart is 250 gram. Isogram. It is in male and 225 gram in female. These are some of the things has to be remembered as a point of note and NEET. They can be asked in NEET. So these star are point to be remembered for NEET. I hope you did understand this internal structure of heart with functions of each one. So it's very simple to draw. I drawn and explained because you just get confidence how it is easy to draw. Otherwise, it is available there in net that you can use this one to have the understanding what exactly for internal structure of heart. Same what I did explain to you, and this is circulatory system with artery and vein. We will take this discussion as different arteries and vein as the next part of video, but very important among these is that this saphenous vein is the point of remember. Saphenous vein, this is the longest vein in our body and which is used for the bypass surgery. So saphenous vein used for bypass surgery. As the longest vein in our body, and later we shall discuss about all types of arteries and vein. See this gap externally it has like this, it has gap or notch. That notch is the area from here that coronary artery passes, and that notch is known as coronary sulcus, is given in book. So that also has to be understood. Externally there is a notch through which coronary artery and vein passes. That gap or notch is known as coronary sulcus, as can be asked. And this is what anatomical structure which I did explain to you here with this artery, aorta, true auricle, true ventricle, bicuspid, tricuspid wall and sigmoid walls, including here there are 3 arteries which open from here to pass the blood to the upper part of the. So once again to draw and have, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. One of that is carotid artery, internal carotid and external carotid, that supply blood to the brain. So I hope you did understand this structure of the heart along with its function and circulatory pathway, what blood is coming and going. Next video will be there. We shall sure learn about simultaneous contraction and relaxation of heart to receive and pump the blood. I hope you did understand entire structure of heart. Even if you are in doubt, you can ask me in comment section. I appeal you to subscribe our channel and like it. Also press bell icon to receive you videos as and when they are uploaded. Thank you.